Hello students, welcome to chapter or lesson 25. In this chapter, we will learn how to use so that and such that. We will also learn about negative and tag questions.
In the previous pattern, we used to for joining sentences. For example, Mr. Miller is very busy. He can't leave his office. Mr. Miller is too busy to leave his office. In the new pattern, we will use that for the same purpose to join sentences. For example, Mr. Miller is so busy that he can't leave his office. Mr. Miller is such a busy man that he can't leave his office.
The example sentences all have approximately the same meaning, so that is used with adjectives. For example, busy. Such that is used with noun phrases. For example, a busy man. The so that pattern also occurs without that. For example, Mr. Miller is so busy, he can't leave his office. The so that pattern is used with adverbs, as well as adjectives. For example, he left so quickly that we didn't have time to say goodbye. Exercise 1. Listen to the statements. This exercise is about making statements with a similar meaning, using so that. I provide examples for you. John is very busy. He can't go to Chicago. John is so busy that he can't go to Chicago. Mary is very homesick. She can't study. Mary is so homesick that she can't study. No, you should do the practice. You can pause your video while doing the exercise. Exercise 2. Listen to the statements. This exercise is about making statements with a similar meaning, using such that. We provide examples for you.
It was a very cold day. Susan stayed home. It was such a cold day that Susan stayed home. A Cadillac is a very expensive car. John can't buy one. A Cadillac is such an expensive car that John can't buy one.
Now, you should do the practice. You can pause your video while doing the following exercise. Exercise 3. Listen to the statements with to. Produce similar statements with so that and such that. Examples. 1. Paul is too short to reach the apple on the tree. Paul is so short that he can't reach the apple on the tree. Paul is such a short boy that he can't reach the apple on the tree. 2. Peter is too old to become a soldier. Peter is so old that he can't become a soldier. Peter is such an old man that he can't become a soldier. 3. These shoes are too small for me to wear. These shoes are so small that I can't wear them. These are such small shoes that I can't wear them. Now, you should do the practice. You can pause your video while doing the following exercise. In addition to adjectives, the so that pattern is also used with adverbs, for example, rapidly, and the quantity expressions, many, much, little, and few. Examples. John spoke so rapidly that I couldn't understand him. Mary had so much work that she was busy all day. John has so little money that he can't buy the book. Answers to the negative questions. Previous pattern. Is the teacher here today?
Yes, he is.
Is this lesson 26?
No, it isn't. New pattern. Isn't the teacher here today?
Yes, he is.
Isn't this lesson 26?
No, it isn't.
The answer to a negative question is the same as the answer to the corresponding affirmative question. If the answer to the affirmative question is yes, the answer to the negative question will be yes also. Likewise, if the answer to the affirmative question is no, the answer to the corresponding negative question will be no also. The negative questions above correspond to the following affirmative statements. The teacher is here today. This is lesson 26. If the speaker has some evidence indicating that these statements might not be true, and if he is surprised at this evidence, he might ask the negative questions. Sometimes the speaker still expects the situations expressed by the affirmative statements to be true, and he asks the questions for confirmation or reassurance.
Exercise 4. Give short answers to the following questions. Examples. Isn't Brazil in South America? Yes, it is. Didn't Columbus discover China? No, he didn't. Shouldn't we always speak English? Yes, we should. Now, you should do the practice. You can pause your video while doing the following exercise. Now, notice the tag questions. Statement plus tag question. Example. John is here, isn't he?
Answers. Example. Yes, he is. No, he isn't.
Statement plus tag question. Example. Mary isn't here, is she?
Answers. Example. No, she isn't. Yes, she is.
Isn't he, and is she, are tag questions.
Negative tag questions follow affirmative statements. Affirmative tag questions follow negative statements.
I give you additional examples. You can go, can't you? She hasn't gone, has she? John doesn't have a TV, does he? They have a car, don't they? Mary speaks Spanish, doesn't she? If a form of be, or an auxiliary, can, has, does, occurs in the statement part, it is repeated in the tag. If there is no auxiliary in the first part, do or does, or don't or doesn't, appears in the tag.
A tag question, with falling intonation, indicates that the speaker thinks his statement is true. He expects the answer to agree with his statement. For example, John is here, isn't he? Expected answers. Yes, he is. Mary isn't here. Is she? Expected answers. No, she isn't. However, if the statement isn't true, the answer will not agree. For examples. John is here, isn't he? No, he isn't. Mary isn't here. Is she? Yes, she is. When rising intonation is used, in the tag question, the speaker does not necessarily expect the answer to agree with his statement. I provide additional examples, but I will not read them for you. You should read by yourself, to practice your pronunciation.
Other examples for you. But, again, I will not read them for you. You should read by yourself, to practice your pronunciation. Have you read the given examples loudly? Good. In the last example above, the first speaker expects an answer of yes, to agree with his statement. But the second speaker thinks the statement is wrong, and gives an answer of no. Exercise 5. Repeat the statements, and then add tag questions. Here are the examples. Mr. Smith is from California. Mr. Smith is from California, isn't he? George wasn't in class yesterday. George wasn't in class yesterday, was he? Mr. Smith drives to work. Mr. Smith drives to work, doesn't he? Now, you should do the practice. You can pause your video while doing the following exercise. This is the end of lesson or chapter 25. Well done, students.
Keep practicing, and see you again. Thanks.
Thanks.